Yes, guys, welcome to SFeatley F1. We're back with another preview for round 10 of the 2022 FIA Formula World Championship, and F1 has returned home to its home Grand Prix, the British Grand Prix. But before we get into it, let's hit the intro. Yes, guys, we're back with another preview, and it's the British Grand Prix. It's the home of Formula One and home for 7-time world champion Lewis Hamilton, George Russell, and also Lando Norris as well. So, yeah. Now, as we get into the preview, we're going to be talking about a little bit about Mercedes, because they're bringing out a new car. Obviously, what's happened during the week, that's going to be explained in the Checker Flag show at 4:30. Where I'm going to literally be tearing into people. PK being one of them. Bernie being another. So, yeah. But that's at 4:30 on the Checker Flag show, so make sure you check out that after the qualifying. But, yeah, so this preview is another guide to what to expect out of Silverstone. If we look at Silverstone circuit images, I wanted to show you this diagram. Actually, I wanted to show you this. This is why I love. This is probably why Silverstone should never be moved to Canada. This is one of the reasons why. Like this picture, if I go down, right. It's this picture here. Oh, actually, no, that. Sorry, let me get out of that one and get into the. There you go. So this picture here shows what the original layout looked like, and how it's changed over the years. So if you look at the grey line is 1948, and if you see, look, 1948, they go left, right down these hanger straights, right all the way around here, then back up through Stowe. There's a tight turn, and then a tight turn here, then a tight turn at Vale and Club, where Vale and Club are now, and then onto the straight of Abbey, and then it's flat out from Abbey all the way to Woodcote. So that's 1948. Obviously, 1949, they actually made a circuit of it, and you can see the original corners that are still there today: Stowe, Vale, Club, Abbey. Obviously, Abbey goes left now, goes right now rather than left. You got Woodcote, right? Copse, Maggots, Beckett's were there for the first ever Grand Prix. Chapel was the first one as well, right? And then obviously, as we get into 1975, you look at the pink line. It's pretty much the same circuit, but Woodcote's got a little bit of a turn in it. It's got a little chicane in it. Then 87, you start to see this appear, which is what you start to see this appear come from Abou, but then you take a left, then a right at Luffield, and then carry on to Woodcote down that way. And then 91, you start to see what used to be what we recognise as the old layout before it was changed in 2010, where you have Bridge. By this point, they made a chicane at Abou, Bridge, flat out, then Priory, Brooklands, whatever you want to call it. Sorry. Then Luffield, and then, as you can tell, 2010 is basically the red line. You can see what the red line's done, and you can see where it is now. And the Wellington Straight is again on another hanger straight. Look, another original hanger straight. Right, so pretty much it's been used on most of the track that has been used now has been used since 1950, which is why it's such an iconic historic track. You cannot get rid of Silverstone. And the fact is, the first ever Grand Prix was held at Silverstone as well, so you can't get rid of it. I don't care what anyone says, right? You can't get rid of Silverstone. That's the end of that discussion. So yeah, I mean, like, it's a very fast circuit as well. It's like you're gonna have to be looking after your right. Your hang on, you're going clockwise, aren't you? So probably your left front is the left front takes a lot of punishment. You got to look after them during the Grand Prix. You see tyre management throughout the Grand Prix because it has that stress on the tyres. Let me see if I can bring it up on f1.com. There we go. Oh no. Schedule. Oh, it's sponsored by Lenovo this year. Okay. Right, let's bring the circuit layout. God's sake. Nothing works when you want it to, innit? There you go. So, yeah, first Grand Prix back in 1950, and as you can see, it's gone from what used to be 60 laps when it was in the early 2000s, it's gone to 52 laps with the new section added in. Some people have mixed reviews about it. Some people like the old way it was done, where Abou went with a left-right chicane rather than going right, and having the old straight as the main straight. But some people like the new layout. So some people have different preferred choices. So lap record is set by Max Verstappen in 2020, obviously because he pitted right at the end of the race, knowing that Bottas had a puncture, thinking that was going to be secure, and obviously Hamilton had a puncture right at the end on the final lap, whereas Max didn't make that stop, he would have caught him. So yeah, so there you go. But so it'd be a bit impossible for drivers to beat that unless the cars are superly fast, so much faster than 2020. So, but obviously last year, right, what a Grand Prix that was, right? I don't care what anyone says. I don't care. We can go back over it again, right? It was a racing incident, right? If you see, right, I don't have to go through it again. I'm not going to go through it again, right? I'm standing by what I said, right? Hamilton had every right. Obviously, for people that don't know, lap one, Hamilton was started off second. Max Verstappen took the lead into the first two corners. Hamilton nearly overtook him down the Wellington Straight, but Max defended so deep into Priory or slash Brooklands. Then come out of Luffield, Hamilton got a good drive out of Luffield, which gave him the slipstream on Max down towards Copse Corner, turn 9. And we all know what happened next. Hamilton got literally, if you watch it frame by frame, Hamilton is side by side with Max Verstappen as they approach the apex. That means Max Verstappen has to give a car its space. He has to give a car its space. There's no choice in it. Right? He has to do that. Right? But no, he comes across and he cuts, just thinking that Hamilton's going to disappear, cuts across, taking the normal line, which cuts across Hamilton's path. Right? If you see Hamilton's steering wheel, he brakes so much later, which makes it look like he's so far behind. Right? Because of the angle of the corner. He turns in, keeps it at the same angle, whereas Max turns in and then turns in even more, right? Mid corner to try and just cut off any route. So I'm sorry, I'm not having it. That was a 50-50 incident. And more Max's fault than Hamilton's fault. And I said at the time, yeah, it's a shocking accident, but the way Max has been driving, I was expecting something like this to happen. Like, I was expecting something like this to happen. Simple as that. So, but yeah, obviously Hamilton's got a 10-second penalty, which dropped him way down the order when he took it in his pit stop. And still, he managed to fight back and win the race, passing Charles Leclerc with about 2 laps to go, and sending me, if you see the intro, where I'm absolutely jumping up and down. I think it's when I had the Mercedes shirt on, I was jumping up and down like a yo-yo because Hamilton had just got past. Yeah, so would we expect the same thing out of Mercedes this weekend? I don't think so. They're supposed to be bringing new parts to this car this weekend. I've got to admit, they must be. Apparently, Mercedes have spent a lot in trying to get this car to a competitive state for this race, because obviously they want to. So I'll bring you some news. This is from Hamilton after practice 2, where he got 2nd position in practice 2, and obviously that could be just down to other teams not putting their full pace in. But you can see a little bit of differences in the car already. We've definitely made an improvement, says Hamilton after Prix in P2 in Silverstone 2nd practice. Lewis Hamilton, George Russell, and Mercedes have enjoyed the opening day of the British Grand Prix weekend with a 7-time world champion finishing going second in FP2, and as Russell finished 8th in the upgraded W13. Both drivers, Paul plus trackside engineer Andrew Shoveling, gave their first verdicts on the package at Silverstone. Hamilton in particular was elated despite having had to sit out much of the rainy FP1 session along with the rest of the field. The Briton finished second to Alfa Romeo's Bottas, a familiar pairing to the top of the charts. At the top of the charts in that compromised first session before going 0.1 seconds off the leader in the second session. So they're definitely up there this weekend. They're definitely up there. So I'm not sure. He says we are a lot quicker than them. We're a lot quicker than them at the end when we get the tyres warmed up. The Ferraris by the end were facing tyre degradation. We were just improving lap by lap. There are some positive signs there, but there's definitely room to improve for sure. The car is sort of bouncing around, so we need to try and understand that. But there is no porpoising down the straight, which is at least one positive sign. As I said, there are positives. We just need to dial into it and truly maximise the pace of the car. So, yeah. All in all, I'm pretty happy with that, man. Pretty happy. Finally, we've got a package that, an actually approved package that's actually doing us wonders, for God's sake. You know what I mean? I'm fed up with it. All the time, it's just been, little improvements here, little improvements there. We don't know what's going on. We don't know what's going on. We don't know what's going on. But clearly they found something that's worked, and it's something at least for. I mean, you've got two British drivers there. The least you can do is give them a fighting chance in this Grand Prix at their home race. So yeah, I'm glad that um, Mercedes have been able to pull this off big time. I'm really happy that they've finally got some pace in the car. Will they be able to ever catch up completely? I don't know, but even then, if you're improving the car year on year, and there's not going to be no changes, I don't think there's going to be any changes to the rules for next year. It can be used to be developed next year's car and understand what we need to do for next year's car to be able to be up there challenging again. So yeah, that's probably what they're. If they're not going to be winning the title, that's what they're trying to probably do with this car. Look at what we can test on this car to try and understand what's the best way to get the best time out of this package, out of these rules. So that for next season. So yeah, so at least the Mercedes are on the positive side. So maybe we'll get a free car battle for qualifying this afternoon. Right, that would be great to see, wouldn't it? Have a free car battle going into qualifying. You know what I mean? Going into quali, it'd be absolutely lit. Right, absolutely. So yeah, I'm happy with that. So for me, I think Red Bull still have the pace at the minute. Will Ferrari be able to respond to them? Again, they'll probably respond in qualifying. Like they've been that good in qualifying all season, but their race pace, and Mercedes said themselves they've been struggling with tyre degradation. And this is the problem with the Ferrari. We've said this for a while now. Like the problem with the Ferrari has been struggling with tyre temperatures, keeping the tyres in the right window. Right, so it means it's been impossible to be able to dictate where you want the cornering to be. Like the cornering performance is not great when the tyres are overheating. You get massive amounts of understeer. The car starts sliding, and then because of that, because you're running at too high temperatures, the tyres degrade even more. Whereas Red Bull and even Mercedes, like as Mercedes said, as soon as we got like the tyres warmed up, we're improving lap by lap. And that's the same with Red Bull. Red Bull have been able to manage their tyres temperatures and their tyres so much better than Ferrari. Ferrari have got a fast car. That's not a problem. They've got a very fast car. But, don't know. Anyway, like I want to go a little bit to the new game, obviously. I've been playing that since I got out of hospital. F1 22. It's like a bit like FIFA now, isn't it? Soundtrack music, like in the background. Like it's like going to the FIFA menu. Like, you know, the FIFA start menu, like where you got kickoff and career and stuff like that. It's kinda like that in a minute. Like that's the probably effects of EA Sports, isn't it? Big up John. Greetings, mate. Hope you're well. Can I have the link? The link you gave me seems to be not working. Ah, shit. Alright, I'll send you the link now. I'll put it in the chat, mate. There you go. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to this session now. Right, and plus I'm literally down to round 6 in the. I do F2 before. I do F2 before the go into the actual career mode. I don't go full distance of F2. I'd only do half the distance. But like, there's two sprint races and a feature race. I did two sprint races and a feature race for about the first 3 rounds, and then I was like, no, I can't do this. Let's just do sprint race and a feature race. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, I've been able to get through that quite easy, and it's Big up Talk, man. I hope you're doing well, my bro. Great to see you back, bro. Thank you very much. Obviously, like last Thursday was not last Thursday before was very, very scary. The hospitals are something I usually get scared by, but when you've been bleeding from about 10:30 to about from about 2 in the morning, and you knew if the ambulance did turn up about an hour later, you would have probably been unconscious. So yeah, it was quite scary. But yeah, thanks to the NHS as usual. Yeah, man. We're all good. We're all good. Hey, that weren't me, mate. No, that wasn't me. Trust me. Like, because like when your INR's like through the roof, like anything that moves in your head can end up with a bleed, so of some sort. So yeah, it's just unlucky thing that happened. To be honest, um, it's just unfortunate because we've been trying to get the thing up, like the INR up, and then it's shot up too high, and then it shot up too high, and then it came. We had to try and get it back down again because we got it back down again, so we could fix the by not taking warfarin. I've now got a clot in my leg, so my clot's all. Well, basically, what happened was on the way home from shopping, he had a nosebleed that started all the way, and it started for about an hour. Right, and that was after I got a 4.6 result, which was too high, and the warfarin clinic told me to miss that dose for tonight. So I thought, okay, it'll be all right. And once I stopped the bleeding, once I got home, it was like, okay, we'll be all right. And you saw me on Doughboy's channel that evening, like nothing was wrong. And then it came downstairs 10:30 at night, and then something I could feel something in my nose just moved. And when it moved, it must have been the clot that was there from the last bleed, because when it moved, that was it. It was like a river coming straight out, and it wouldn't stop. And it did stop until about, well, the ambulance took from, we were there at 10:30, and I was still bleeding like a river, like pouring water down a tap till about 2 a.m. By the way, the link's in there if you want to come on, by the way. Till about 2 a.m. when the ambulance turned up, bled all the way down the hospital, all the way to the hospital. He wanted to shove a massive 10 centimeter pack up my nose and pressurised it, where they actually stopped the bleeding, because at one point, like, they were saying, well, squeeze your nostril there. Well, if I squeeze it there, it comes out there. Right, we'll squeeze that one then. Well, if I squeeze that one, it goes down the back of my throat and I start drinking it, and then coughing it back up again. So it was not pleasant at all. But luckily, with the pressurized pack that came off 48 hours later, it's a lot better. I'm still very sore from that, actually, but they've given us some like antiseptic or like antibacterial cream or something like that to put in it. So, but anyway, it's all good. It's all good. We're back. We're doing what we need to be doing, which is talking F1 and not talking about football, because I just don't want to fit. Right. That's why I was in hospital. I didn't want to know anything that was going on in terms of football. I think Anthony and that were trying to message me about, what do you think of Jesus? And I said, I am not talking about football right now. I'm not, because I need to stay calm and not let this bleed anywhere. You know what I mean? So yeah, like, talk about F1. You can do that all day long, but yeah, no. I wonder where Brother John's got to. I put the link in the chat, mate. I don't know where he's got to. I'll try and send it again to him, actually. Where's the phone? Where's the phone? There it is. Don't know why it didn't come up, mate. I did it. I sent it to you. It's the first one there, mate. It's on WhatsApp. I sent it to you on WhatsApp, mate. John. If you're still there, I'll send it to you on WhatsApp. The link's anyway. If anyone wants to come on, it's not a problem. I don't mind. But I'm hoping, obviously, like I was saying with Mercedes, right, with that package improvement, I'm looking forward to seeing what Hamilton can do. George Russell, if Hamilton wins this time, like makes it 10, no 9, like nine wins at Silverstone, mate, I'll be bouncing off the ceiling. Like I'll be like, that's it, game on, championship's on, let's go. Nah, but yeah, like that would be mad if we can do that. Like if Hamilton could try and like get, I think Hamilton will get on the podium this weekend. I'm not even lying. Welcome back, John. How you doing, my friend?
Hey mate, hope you're good. Long time, mate.
Now I've got a bone to pick with you.
I know, man. I really owe you big time.
No, 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 no.
I owe you big time, mate.
Uh,
Yeah, like
your guy, Christian Horner.
no, don't say my guy, my guy. I told you last time that I'm done with them, mate. I told you already.
I've seen that sporting hat, are
Well, yes and no. Let me say yes and no. Like I finally took, like I finally saw the light and I said to myself and I finally said to myself, I think I really need to, like be a driver, like a fan of a driver rather than be of a team because like I mean honestly, how many lifelines did I give Red Bull? I mean honestly. And also
Mate,
for a yeah, and
the thing I was gonna say is that how is it like you sitting there moaning about changing on the FIA rules on like porpoising and that, like immediately after Grand Prix, and it's like okay, you don't want those rules changed, but then the budget cap rules, which by the way some teams have been able to manage, right, because they have a disaster fund, right, because you spent all your money, you're now wanting to change that. Right, and the only way that's going to work is if we stand up to people like you and say, "No, you're not going to change it. You should manage your money better."
yeah,
Like,
indeed, you can
and
say
you
that
say, "No,
again.
that's a different story." No, no, it ain't the different story.
Double
Let's
standards,
be
right?
like honestly, that oh mate, like the job. That's why I listen to the guy. When every time he gets on an interview, I turn it off.
I never, to be honest, because like also another thing that really bugged me was, like okay, besides having double standards, whereby you say okay, increase the budget, like the budget cap, and also at the same time, no, don't change the rules because of course it's benefiting them. Like a lot of people are suffering from purposing, right? But here's another thing that I have is that like what happened to Sir Lewis, like this past week through
Yeah,
Nelson.
we're definitely gonna talk about that
Ye-
reject project.
ye-
I'm not happy with that at all.
Yeah. But now here's the thing: many teams and also many drivers actually put like a public statement. You see, many F1 teams and even drivers like Charles Leclerc, Russell,
Yeah,
George Russell. But now Red Bull said totally. It's like they said nothing at all. And to make things worse, even the drivers, like even Checo, like who I actually thought was a sensible guy, a very good guy, never said anything. And
um,
also even AlphaTauri, you see, and I said to myself,
can
is
I
it
make a
because
point? Hang on, I
okay,
will make
please.
a point. Hang on, I will make a point.
Yeah.
Someone did.
Please.
Someone. I do know because I can tell by the hat. It's 2022. Yeah,
Yeah.
because you've got number one on the hat. Max
Mm,
did say that Max was asked the question about it, and obviously he said he came out and condemned it. So, like when he was asked, so
yeah, because he was asked right on Thursday, right? Press conference.
yeah,
Yeah. I remember that. But now the thing is that like it really like infuriates infuriates me because I think that obviously it's more like he had his back against the wall. I mean, honestly, what could he had said? Because you've got like the girlfriend. Okay, I have to say this. Like the girlfriend. Like also liking tweets, or should I say messages whereby like messages whereby like they say like messages whereby they're actually defending. trying to defend, like Nelson, and she's liking those tweets. I mean, it already says a lot. And like we all know that, like Max, like it's not a secret that Max really hates, like Lewis. We all know that. I'm sure you remember like the last race whereby Lewis was on the podium. Did you see even the body language? Like how it was. It was really awkward. I'm sure even someone who was new to F1 could actually
Yeah.
see that this guy hates Lewis. So for me, I'm just like infuriated, infuriated with how Red Bull has been handling this, because I'm like, yes, of course, you had to say like a statement about Vips, but you never said anything about, like what happened to Lewis. And for me, I'm like saying, okay, if you're a person who's got standards, even, like, me,
It
even if
shouldn't be
Red Bull
down to
miss,
who's who. It shouldn't be down to
yes,
whether
indeed,
you go
indeed,
egg or not. Should be
yes,
you should be
indeed.
good at it no matter what.
Indeed. And like for me, it like I actually ask myself to say, why do these, drivers, or should I say even these teams, take the knee, or even the hashtag, we race as one, yet they cannot even publicly say it. Or even, like F1, just said, there's some, like Lewis is a good driver, etc., etc. We condemn this, that, but they have never said anything, or even to say out the name, like of Nelson, Piquet. So
Yeah.
for me, like I'm saying that, this is all
So what's
just charade.
infuriating for me though? So what's infuriating for me?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
it's taken a year for this to come out.
Indeed, indeed. Yes, that's another thing I
Why is
wanted
it
to say.
taking a year? Why is it taking a year? We all knew he was getting abused straight after that Grand Prix. Why is it
Uh,
not? Why is it taking a year for these comments on
yeah,
PK to come out to
indeed,
light? Someone's
indeed,
been
indeed.
covering it up.
Indeed, very much. Some people were actually powerful at the top, like it really says a lot, because I just think to myself, okay, just imagine what was said, like exactly, is it like last year, like at the British GP, whereby, Max, had a
Absolutely.
DNF, and Lewis was celebrating, with the flag running. Of course, we know that Max said it's not so good, that he was
Yeah,
celebrating in
but he
such a
didn't.
barbaric
Hang on.
way.
He was told
But
he got
just
out of the car. So he was
indeed,
told he got out.
indeed,
He was told he was got out of the car. So
indeed,
if he was told
indeed,
he got out of the car, he's okay, right? You didn't expect him to be in hospital.
indeed,
Uh,
very much,
unless
indeed.
someone he just said no one told me until I got to the press conference that I was in that he was in hospital.
Indeed, indeed, indeed. And like, sorry, but I have to say this, like, it even really surprised me, like, I remember, like, we knew each other, was it like 2 years ago or something? And of course, I was new, and, a lot of people were saying that, how come, like, talking to Steven is racist, etc., 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 etc.,
Yeah,
etc., right? But now here's the thing. You see, like, okay, like you hear what people say, but then now you see what you do, that your role model is Lewis. The other thing is that, like you even give a platform, or even if Mercedes messes up, or even if anyone messes up, or even something racial, you stand up for what is right, no matter if it is close to home, or if it's, like your opponent, you stand for what
very
is
funny,
right.
mate. Because
Yes, you
like
stand for what is right.
it's very funny. It's the very people that came up with that shit have disappeared now.
Indeed, you see, indeed. So now, yeah. So for me, like, sorry for using your example, but I'm just saying, I use the
That's
example
fine.
because I'm saying, yeah, I'm using your example because I'm saying, like, actions speak louder than words. Because for you, you say as it is. Whether if it's a player, or even if it's someone who's great, you do not, beat about the bush. You say as it is. So that
Yep.
is the same thing I was also expecting from Red Bull, or even AvaTauri, or even, the drivers, or even
Yeah.
Bottas, of all the people, who was Lewis' teammate, never said anything. You always
Mm.
take a knee, like we know that, Formula One saying, there's no racism, in Formula One. But of course, it was later discovered that there was racism. They now took a knee. But I'm saying, okay, like for me, I believe that if one player, or if, like a part of, like your rival, or anyone, is actually attacked, you all have to say everything. But
Yeah.
No one said, or even like that journalist, F1 journalist, what's his name? Like I'm forgetting.
I'm not. I don't know.
Benson or something. I'm not sure. Yeah,
I
they
think so.
all did nothing. You see, so and you see, like Ferrari, you see Mercedes, you see Alpine, you see all these people saying everything. So for me, like like that was just the final nail in the in the coffin. And I said, like it's better for me, to be a Haas fan or even like to support a team that is whack, but knowing that they stand for what is right. That's what I just believe, Stephen, because
Yeah,
it's really infuriating, you see, to say that, like, I want to say this. Yes, I'm black, right? But did I choose to be who I am? No, I did not choose. So the mere
mm,
fact that I also breathe the same air as you breathe, we have to respect each other. And it's appalling, how they handle it. It's just like even in football. Did you see how, like the football world united, when they heard about the Europeans, like is it? Yes, the European Super League. How many
yeah,
people, stood up. But now when racism, like
yeah. They
happens,
all look at our way. And
nothing at all.
you got people, and then you got people like Bernie, like who, first of all, defends Vladimir Putin, saying he took a bullet from him. So go on, then
I-
jog on.
Imagine.
I'll get that organised. You can drop in
Mate.
front of him for the bullet, and then I'll shoot.
Mate.
And then when you've taken the
Imagine.
bullet, I'll then shoot him again. I'll then take another shot and shoot him and shoot the actual
Imagine.
and
Imagine.
shoot actual Putin himself.
My
Sorry,
days.
uh,
And
but like then he's saying to Lewis, he tells Lewis to man up.
imagine, imagine, imagine.
That
And
is the problem. This is the problem. This is the problem right there. Right? The problem is that problem. Right?
exactly, exactly.
People with these attitudes, right, are what brings it back all over again and again and
Indeed,
again.
indeed,
Because they
indeed.
excuse it. I see people on Insta that want to, for people that want to speak up to it and stand against it,
You can say that
they're getting
again.
abused themselves for fucking
Indeed,
saying so.
indeed. I actually agree with you.
Right?
I actually agree with you, mate.
Sorry, don't want to mention another channel, but like I watched like on Instagram, like off circuit, right? And
Yeah.
he put it out as well. And he put a video out saying it, but he put out all these instant messages he was getting, like saying "Well done, PK" and this and all the other. And I'm like, this is the
Wow, are you
fucking problem.
serious?
Yeah,
Wow, 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 wow,
yeah,
wow, wow.
yeah.
Yeah, that's the world we're living in. It's so infuriating. And like what F1 did, they just said, put a statement saying that we distance ourselves, from these
I'm
remarks.
telling you
But
now,
what
if
I,
Lewis Hamilton, I've said this. Do you know what? I've said. Do you know what? I'm really
yeah,
getting convinced of this right now. Right,
yeah,
until Hamilton leaves, that is the only time until Hamilton leaves, about 5 years after he retires, is that people actually start respecting him and what he's done.
indeed,
Right?
indeed,
And but
very
right
much.
now, people see him because he's done so well and he's the most successful driver because he's black. Right?
Yes, very much, yeah.
They fucking hate him.
They hate him. That true
They've because
to
I've
the bone.
asked them so many times, why do you hate Lewis?
Yeah,
There's no reason. And when he come up with a
yeah,
reason,
true.
I hit him with facts. I hit him
Yeah,
straight with
true.
facts, and they're like,
Very true.
uh,
Really true.
uh, you got no. The reason basically you've got no reason. The reason is
Yeah.
basically you're a racist shit.
Very true. You can say that again. Very much.
Because if he was
Because
white, you'd be jumping up for joy. If it
very much.
say for example,
Very.
you switched Russell and Hamilton round. If Russell was the 7-time champion and Hamilton was the new kid on the block, right?
Yes, yes,
Everyone
yes.
would be loving George Russell.
Very. You can say that again.
He'd be saying,
Yeah,
"Oh,
yeah.
he's great. Oh, he's this."
A
I
role
remember
model.
Lewis had to tweet out after he won for 14th in 2018 in
Yeah.
Germany.
Oh
He had
yes.
to tweet out to Sky, like against Sky, and say, "Hang on, what about my performance? I did something." Because he said, "Oh, it was a strategy. The team did this. The team did that. It was brilliant by the team. It was
Indeed,
brilliant by
indeed,
this."
indeed. We did,
What about
indeed.
Lewis who actually drove the fucking car?
Yeah, very true, very true. Like
Like,
what you said.
and
Yeah.
as soon as he did that, who was the first one to put a comment? right? The one who was fucking slating him 2 years ago, Nico Rosberg, but now wants to be bloody friends with him.
You
Honestly.
can say that again. You can say that again. The example
There were
you
British fans that supported Nico Rosberg because they didn't want to support Hamilton.
and we all know the reason why.
Pretty much.
We all know the
Because they've
reason
got
why.
no reason.
Yeah, true. Stephen, it reminds me of what happened, was it last year, the Euros, tournament, whereby Sterling, like he was scoring the winning goals, everything. And I think, there's a certain point whereby he had the same amount of goals as Kane. And I remember, is it the Daily Mail, or should I say even other, news outlets, saying Kane has inspired this, Kane has inspired this. Then I say to myself, wow, hold on, but isn't Sterling even, having the same statistics as, Harry Kane? But now it just shows you, the root cause, does it mean that if you're black, shouldn't you also be, rewarded by, for your success? Shouldn't it be also on merit basis, regardless of the color that you are? But it's so infuriating that, like Formula One, I thought that we're going to hear of a ban, or even Red Bull saying that no, we're banning him, from coming to
No, but
the
it's not just
paddock or
F1.
anything.
No, it's not
Yeah,
just F1. It's this.
even Red Bull too.
It's not just the F1. The teams, like some of the teams, like uh,
Yeah,
I remember when like after Ron Dennis left,
yeah,
they
yeah.
never backed Hamilton fully. They took half of his
Oh,
mechanics. He gave it to freaking Button when he turned
oh, are
up.
you serious? Wow.
Yeah, half of his mechanics, right, went from his
Well,
garage to Button's garage. Is when he
wow,
signed.
wow,
They
wow,
didn't give
wow.
him the like. I'm sorry, they never gave him the right support. They backed him too late because he was always there in the title race and Button wasn't. Right,
Wow, that's
so
appalling.
like no wonder he bloody left the team. Right, and I'm sorry when it comes to um like so for me,
Yeah,
it's not just about F1.
indeed,
Right,
indeed, indeed.
why have the media covered this up? Why is
Indeed,
the media knowing about this now?
indeed, indeed,
It happened a
indeed.
year ago. Why don't you pick up a year ago? Who's
Yeah,
covered it up? I want to know who's covered this up. Someone's covered it up.
yeah,
I don't want to know who
true,
it
true.
is.
Yeah, yeah,
Like,
very true,
I want to know who
very
it
true.
is. I want to pin them fucking into a wall.
It's so shocking.
I
It's so
want to. I want
shocking.
to smack a nail literally through their hand and drill them to the wall.
Yeah, true. Because like it just says a lot to say, okay, so
It's
what is actually
disgrace.
yeah, what is actually happening behind closed doors? I mean, honestly, and also what more has happened that we actually do not know that has been actually covered by the media?
And
It's
it's
really
all this
shocking.
hate because he wants to make the world a better place. Because
Indeed,
he's
indeed,
spent years of it.
indeed.
He's had it since 8 years old.
I remember, yeah.
8 years old.
I know, I
Like,
know.
and yet you're saying the man up. All right, Bernie. I bet you had an abuse since you were 8. You fucking old fart. Right? If you
It's
love Putin
shocking,
that
man.
much, fuck off to Russia and fucking stay there, and you fucking fight the front lines for him, mate.
Okay, so if I get this correctly, so nothing happened to him, like there's nothing, whatsoever, or he's not
Oh, he's
being, they're going to
apologised.
be held
What the PK said.
accountable.
No, by the way, like father, like son. His son's also a disgrace. Guess what he did in Singapore in 2008? Fixing, right? Race
Oh, for
fixing.
the son.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
So, but no, he's come out and made an apology. But he was saying,
But it's
oh,
an
"Yeah,
apology. It's not an apology,
I
mate.
apologise for saying it, but it's not what I meant."
I
So
mean,
why are you
honestly,
apologising then? You can't
that wasn't.
apologise and then say, "Yeah, but I didn't say that." So why are you
Yeah,
apologising?
it's shocking, mate. It's really shocking, I tell you. It's shocking and it's such a disgrace, I tell you. Like I'm sure you know like the Afcon, Afcon.
Mate,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
honestly, sorry, I was sorry to cut it off again,
No,
but
no, it's okay, it's okay.
that Grand Prix, right? It was the first time I actually thought that F1 could have fans that are that bad, right? And
Yeah,
when
true.
I looked on Instagram, like honestly, this carried on till Hungary. And by the way, the same people that call me a racist, they didn't want to call this out because they hate Hamilton.
Yeah,
Right.
and you know
I
what?
remember them. Remember they playing my stream right at the last race of the season, jumping up and down, saying, "Look at him! Look at him! He's a Hamilton supporter. He's in the mud. Oh yeah, but he's a Hamilton supporter, but he's
Yeah,
also racist."
yeah, yeah,
Well,
yeah.
yeah,
I
I got that one
remember.
out. Yeah, okay.
I remember.
Right.
And
And
yeah,
and it is,
yeah.
and they just sit, and then they're sitting there like.
Mm,
But then, where did you come out? And, where were you like when this was happening to Lewis on the British Grand Prix?
indeed,
I
they're
never
all
heard
quiet.
it.
They're all
You never
quiet.
heard it. Every
They're
F1
all
fan
quiet.
fucking heard
They're
about
all
it.
quiet.
Shut up.
They're
Every
all quiet.
F1 fan of their salt knew about it. So you're
They're
not an
all
F1 fan
quiet.
now.
Yeah,
Right?
and
You knew
I bet
about
you.
it because you hated Hamilton that much, right? Right? You didn't want
Yeah,
to do
they,
anything. Right?
yeah, they
Pick
turn
and
a
choose.
blind eye. Yeah,
Right? Like I'm
indeed.
just and like that race. After that race, I spent about an hour on Instagram trying to clear the messages. When you clear the messages,
Wow,
about 3 or 5 minutes later, they're back there. I thought I just got rid of that one.
wow. Are you for real?
Oh yeah, I was like, I just got rid of that one. Why didn't it got? Where's it gone?
Wow, 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 wow,
Honestly,
wow. Wow, it's shocking. Because, like, the funny thing about this is that, those people who actually called you a racist are the same people, who came to my inbox and actually abused me, using racist, slurs.
yeah,
It's really amazing, mate. It's really amazing.
yeah,
You
mate,
know,
yeah,
yeah,
mate.
yeah. And, like, what is really crazy about
They
this is
stand
that,
up for racism, yet they eventually abuse you.
yeah,
Okay.
and now, guess who was there to mop up the mess? It was you, who they say you're racist, but it's just shocking, mate. It's just shocking. It's
Yeah,
shocking.
keep chatting for me. I'm just gonna get a drink. Right,
No,
so
no, no,
it's
no,
just
no,
it's
no,
just
no. It's okay.
bourbon.
It's
No,
okay. It's okay. Do your thing.
keep talking. I'm just gonna get a
Okay.
drink.
No, it's okay. Do your thing. Do your thing, mate. Yeah. So yeah, it's a crazy world that we live in. My only wish is that like is that people should be held like to accountable, because this is just going out of hand. I mean, honestly, when is it going to be enough? When are we going to say enough is enough? Like, just like the whole world stood up with Ukraine, and now you think to yourself that like right now, whereby Lewis, I mean, honestly, what wrong has he actually done? I mean, honestly, because like, you just try to have a track record of like his life, or even like standing up for equality, standing up like for the minority, even inclusivity. Like, it's just shocking, but yet you hate the person. But anyway, you know we have this. It's shocking. It's shocking. It's really shocking. And
It
this is
is.
the 21st century. This is the 21st century, not 1920 something. It's the 20th, like the 21st century. But you know, it's appalling. But I'm just happy, like that. You stand up for what is right, and like, even though if you stand up for what is right, I know that you now do not become popular, among people. But I'm happy, Stephen, that you stick for what is right, and
I'm
please
not here
keep
to be
on doing
popular
what
with
it is.
people.
Yeah,
I'm here to
indeed,
say my
and
opinion. If people don't like my
indeed,
opinion, then they can get lost.
yeah, yeah, indeed, and
Don't
I
watch my stuff.
really,
If you don't like my opinion, don't watch the channel. Then it's not a
yeah,
problem.
indeed,
Right? But if you do like what, if you do want to respect what I'm saying, then by all means
indeed,
watch it. Right?
indeed,
But in the
indeed,
end, I'm not
yeah.
changing my opinion just to please you
Yeah.
lot, so you can come and
Thank
watch.
you so much for that. Yeah, very much, very much. Yeah. So for me, like I said to myself, enough is enough, and well, like, if it means it's a has all the way, I mean, honestly, let it be a has. But I'm so disappointed in Checo for the Vivo. Really, I am actually, disappointed. But anyway, it is what it is, mate. Life goes
Yeah.
on. Yeah, but also,
Any-
okay, go on.
yeah, I mean, anyway, we gotta wrap this up anyway. So, because it's a preview today.
Yeah,
British
I'm
Grand
sure
Prix
you're
itself.
confident, right? You're so confident, right? For Mercedes, you've got
I'm
points,
gonna get
mate.
voted this weekend. I know.
I reckon you have one. I reckon you have one, but I'm so happy, with what is happening that, like the upgrades, of course, there's still a bit of bouncing, but, I'm happy, like, I'm sure even with yourself, you're actually happy with where you are, that, like, you're not like sacrificing, like the height of the car and, like losing a bit of speed, but, like
To
with the
be
upgrades
honest,
that you
mate.
had. Yeah.
Look, to be honest, mate. Look, the way it's going,
Yeah.
I feel if you don't start competing with the top teams soon in the next few races, I would ask them to just keep developing the car in terms of development for next year, so they
Indeed,
can
indeed.
understand what they need for next year. Because the rules ain't going to really change next year.
Yeah,
So
true. Yeah,
so
true. Yeah, true.
then yeah, just
Until
use it as a
2025,
test.
right?
Yeah, so use it as a development car.
Indeed, indeed, indeed,
So
indeed.
that's what I would think as well. But yeah,
Yeah,
but we'll wait and see. But yeah, but at least they've spent some money they got left. So obviously all the teams aren't that broke. But Christian,
indeed.
are they?
Indeed, indeed,
And
indeed,
we
indeed.
still got money.
Yeah, and it's shocking that
Well, mate,
it's
if you didn't
yeah,
spend all last season, you wouldn't be out of cash, would you?
yeah,
But then
true, very
again,
much.
you just had a deal with Oracle for £500 million. Where's your fucking money gone, mate? Like,
It's
where's it gone?
shocking. It's shocking. It's really shocking. And like to think that is now threatening that the last five races will not race. I mean,
Okay, yeah,
honestly,
don't turn up.
who do
Yeah,
you think you
honestly,
are? Because
honestly, don't turn up. 'Cause I'm telling you, FIA ain't gonna change it for you. And if I tell you what, if you don't turn up for the last five races and Max loses the title because of it, I'm gonna piss myself laughing. I am gonna piss myself so hard laughing. It's unreal. Right.
indeed, yeah, indeed,
You just
and
better hope Max has got about a 10, I mean, I got like a rate a points difference that you only get on the F1 game.
indeed,
Like
indeed,
that you've won every single Grand Prix and you go win it with
indeed.
about 8 races left.
Yeah, true, true, true. It's not fair because I mean, I actually said to myself, "Who do you think you are? Like, do you think that you're bigger than F1?" I mean, honestly, if you do not race, do you think that like the world is going
No,
to
the
be
F1,
over?
the
I mean,
FIA
honestly,
got to stand up for it because in the end, like, um, look, in the end, I respect. Like in the end, they've got to stand against them because otherwise,
yeah,
well, what would it? You know what I mean? I
indeed, I
respect
agree.
Lewis for what he's doing, but idiot like Nelson Piquet doing my head. Big up DTR cars.
Big up.
IR9. I haven't seen it in the chat before, by the way. If by the way, please do support the channel. It also supports SFeatleyTV, which is my other channel, which is monetized. That supports a charity. All the money that's made there goes to Children's Living Disease Foundation. So
Yeah,
if you subscribe here, you'll be also helping out that
yeah,
with awareness there. Because so yeah, so please, if you do so, please do hit that like and subscribe because like I'm here to talk F1 and tell you what, my
indeed.
football knowledge is okay. Right, it's
Indeed.
pretty good.
No more
My
than,
my
come on, don't
F1
humble
knowledge,
yourself. Don't
my
humble
my
yourself.
my F1 knowledge, ping straight off the
Yeah,
roll.
yeah. Mate, since like you're talking of knowledge, like I think we should do maybe later on one of those quizzes, I miss a
Yeah,
quiz.
yeah. I should do a quiz,
Later
sure,
on
man.
when yeah, like when the time is right, of course.
I'm literally about to finish in a minute, mate. But I'll send you a link for the qualifying.
Yeah.
Um, Adam, how you doing?
I'm good.
Hey Adam, hope you're
All
good.
right. What do you want to say just before we got about 5 minutes before we wrap up?
I thought it was the qualifying, that's why I came on. If you're about to get done, then I'll
It
head out.
it says weekend preview, mate.
Indeed.
My eyes were not working.
Yeah. I've got a
Well,
question for
what
him.
go on?
Later if you're done. No, later after you.
I mean, look, Adam, what is there anything you want to say about what we just talked about?
Then I'll just head up.
Okay, fine. Okay, that's cool. But we're gonna leave it there then.
Is he still a Red Bull fan or is he a Ferrari fan? I
No,
know
he's a
it's
Ferrari
between
fan.
the two.
He's a Ferrari fan.
Oh, he's Ferrari. Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
he
it's
ain't that
fine.
stupid. He ain't that stupid.
It did. I saw the way, mate. We start from the bottom.
Hey, so did fucking Mercedes, mate.
No, of course, I've got a soft spot, but I'm still thinking of a driver, But like I do not want to be, like those fans, like who leave, like maybe Arsenal and go to Man City. So it's more like I'm leaving Red Bull, going to Mercedes. Come on, man.
By the way, I've got new. Is that for the race watch now? Yeah, that's qualifying. Yeah, there you go. Look, we got new. We got
Wow.
purple for fastest lap.
Wow,
We've got
mate.
stewards under investigation.
No,
Black and orange flag. Blue flag, blue flag, blue
wow,
flag.
mate. Wow.
Safe,
So
safe, safety car, virtual safety
wow,
car, double yellow flags, and checker flag, and a
wow,
green flag, and a red
wow.
flag.
Oh wow, green flag too. Wow, that's awesome.
No, it's awesome. This
Wow,
looking lit,
wow.
and you won't believe
That's
how
really
long
good.
it takes to change every single one for every single Grand Prix.
Wow,
It
please do
takes all
tell.
fucking night.
Oh, thank you for the sacrifice. Really, it means a lot. It means a lot. And also, wait. Before you go, just to ask. Do you now have access to the new game, the F1?
Yeah, I'm playing it. I was busting to get
Ooh.
out of hospital on Tuesday so
Wow,
I
wow,
could
that's
get to
good.
play early access. I'm like, I bought the Champions
Wow,
Edition because I wanted early access to it. I am not
wow,
getting
wow,
sitting in here
wow.
waiting.
Wow, that's good. But please do tell me, did EA deliver? Please,
They
did
have.
they deliver?
So I haven't tested all the F1 cars
Ah,
yet.
okay. Ah,
I'm
okay.
doing. So what I do is get straight on driver career mode, go for
Ah, okay.
F2, go for F2.
Wow. Wow,
Right.
that's
I'm
good.
not doing. I'm not doing 2 sprints in a race. I'm doing one sprint in a
Ah,
race.
okay. Ah,
Right.
okay, that's good.
The
That's
the
good.
Jeddah circuit is where I've only just done the feature race because I've already won the title now, so I'm pretty much guaranteed a seat. So I'm going to the Mercedes. I'm going for the Mercedes Academy. So
Obviously, yeah,
obviously,
obviously.
like they've got a bad car, I've got to fix it. So you know what I mean. So like,
Oh, wow. When I have access to
if
it,
you
I think I'll
see,
go to the house.
look,
Yeah.
right here are. If I show you these are some of my notes for some of the games that I
Okay.
play. Right. So let me just go through these.
Wow.
Right. So hang on. There you go. Now this was last year's. Well, you can use this for F2 still. Right,
Okay.
last year's setups.
Okay.
These are all the setups I had for last
Wow,
year for
mate.
every single
Mate.
Grand Prix.
Are you
Right,
serious?
this is I can set up my own car. Right,
I
they should
think I
employ
will
me as
call
an
you, mate.
they should employ me as an engineer.
Please do. I'm actually going to call you, like on Wednesday when I have time from work and I
Yeah,
go and buy
and
the
then
game. I'll call
and,
you.
and of course I've had to redo these ones as well. So because obviously it's a new
Wow.
era, it's a new generation of cars. It's going to be have totally different setups, aren't they?
Yeah,
So
indeed,
there you
indeed,
go.
indeed. Wow, that's good, mate. That's really good, mate. Because, for me, I really struggle on setups, except maybe when it's raining, whereby I change my wing,
Yeah.
yeah. But now it's a bit hard for me. I think maybe
If you
I'll
look it
have to
up,
call you. Huh?
if you look it up like best,
Mhm.
if you put F122 best British GP setup,
Okay.
you've got loads of websites that tell you like with loads of people that have submitted their fastest laps
Ah,
and the
okay.
setups they've used. So
Oh,
you
wow.
can
How
also
generous.
look it up. But usually I've looked at their baseline of it, where
Yeah.
the actual website tells you what they think is the best setup. Right,
Okay.
I've taken their baseline and I just added it to the style of my car, the
Wow,
style
thank
of
you
my
for that.
driving. So
Thank you. That was helpful. Thank you.
yeah, but anyway, we're gonna wrap it up there.
So
Make sure
for
you hit the
Quali, we'll
like
meet again?
button. What's that?
And I'm saying so for Quali, we'll be together too, right?
Yes, we'll be there for
Ah, cool.
quality in half an
Awesome.
hour. So yes,
Ah, lovely,
make sure you
lovely.
tune in half an hour at 2:45. Qualifying is coming up
Yep.
in that time. John, where can I find you, mate? Grab having back
Well,
on.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. It's good to be back, and yeah, because of the little one, what happened.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's good to be back. Yeah, they can find me on Twitter, brethren_John, and also at Fitly F1 channel. You can always find me there. Thank you.
Wicked, wicked. No, and as usual, make sure you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the share button as well. Make sure you keep it locked in
Membership.
because we are. And if you want to find out what's going on with the channel, all
Yeah,
the community posts that are on SFeatleyTV, there will
yeah,
you also see community posts for this channel post on
yeah.
there for now. So until this one gets its own community post, that's a long way to go yet. So, but there you go.
Indeed.
Anyway, make sure you hit the like, share, subscribe, and we'll see you in half an hour. Bye bye.